Good day, Lords and Ladies. Welcome back to Slay the Princess with me, Cornish-knight, as we dive back to the Let's Play. Here we go.
Yes, it feels so long ago, almost like we've never left.
Where we left off last time, we had been summoned to slay a princess. We ended up not being 100% sure about what to do, so we decided to think it over and see if she tried to do anything after we got to know her. It did not turn out well at all, and through a series of horrifically unfortunate events, we currently find ourselves floating in a place that looks like it's kind of breaking the laws of physics and gravity. No, time and physics, I should say. So, yes.
We have to let her out.
We also have lots of voices in our head at the moment. It's not good.
No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her. Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we? Yeah, we're supposed to let her out. It's really the only way this works out for us. If you think about it, she's the one with power here. Nobody else can do much of anything.
No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever, I think.
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart? We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere. There's nothing for us to do. We've already tried everything.
We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us?
To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love.
Why are there so many of us? There aren't supposed to be so many of us. This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here?
I think they're all wrong. That's a good question. How many times have you all been here? What if we don't go to the cabin? Can you make sense of them? I feel so disjointed. I don't know if I can pull this off. I don't know if I can slay her. To the cabin, the only way out of this is to do nothing. So nothing I will do.
Many times.
It feels like we've been here forever. But it also feels like we've barely been here at all. It doesn't matter. Yes, we just have to do what she says and then everything will be fine. It won't.
Yeah, I think the narrator's correct this time.
It will be for us. She said so. You're part of everything. If things aren't fine for everything, they won't be fine for you. There's no difference between fine and not fine. It just goes on and on.
Yeah, I think they're not. I think they're all wrong. Yeah, so it's all this one. The only difference is this option here. But that doesn't make sense. I only remember being here twice before this, and some of you don't seem to remember being here at all. Was I here those other times? Did someone else make the decisions?
What does here even mean, if you really think about it?
Shut up! You were here.
Every single time. You did your best, really. There's just a pecking order.
And our cruel and beautiful goddess sits atop it, right where she's always belonged.
You're lucky. What I would give to be able to forget. I've tried to keep them numb, but they're all too soft. A shame, really.
Okay. If I don't remember what I did, then it couldn't have been me that did it.
Don't think about that too hard. All it will do is weaken your resolve and make it that much harder for you to slay her. Maybe you're shattered in your own way.
Are you your memories? Or are you the one perceiving the present moment? Ugh, here you go philosophizing again. It never goes anywhere.
Yes, this is far from the first time you've asked us about consciousness. Who am I? What am I? What is I?
Who even cares? They're good questions, great questions even, but they don't have any answers, and they all just end in quivering torment. It doesn't matter what we do, because we always find her, and if we don't find her, she always finds us.
And then she smashes us into smaller pieces. If you all just stopped feeling, we could have been done with this ages ago.
Your thoughts are far too scattered to rein back in. Your only option is to silence them.
What if we don't go to the cabin?
We've tried that. It doesn't work.
Our hearts always brought us back to her.
The deck is stacked. So many paths, and they're all circles.
Can you make sense of them?
There's nothing worth making sense of. They're clearly all traumatized.
And yet, you aren't. We break apart, and you stay the same.
Yeah, what's your secret? Why can you break the rules when we can't?
If we stay, she turns up. If we go, she turns up. Proceed to the cabin.
You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually, you do make it to the cabin, or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been. Instead, all you find is an empty hill. No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there.
Don't ask him about the mirror. He always says he never sees it.
He always lies. And he always makes it gone.
It's exhausting. We must be such a mess, but we never get the chance to fix ourselves. That thing is mocking us.
Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and it's best not to be distracted by fraying thoughts. There is no mirror. You know that as well as I do. She's still here, buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. It's why you always lose.
What's wrong with giving them space? What if it helps them? Let's go that one.
They've been hurt too much. It's why they are the way they are. Exactly. They are delusions, and all that catering to them will do is drag you down to their level. You have to keep moving. Or you could just give up.
Approach the mirror.
You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin.
The cabin that isn't there.
You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you? You've got to see what's in it.
Smash it to pieces!
She's on the other side, and we have to let her out. It's the only way we can be free.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it. Just do something. It doesn't matter what. Exactly. I'm sure that whatever you settle on, it'll be the best possible decision you could have made. Proceed. Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific. That's a new one. Do you think it'll work? Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. It's why he gets to make them. And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see?
We're one step closer to her.
The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure they're in. Wrong and unsettling as it may be. The only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor, a hint of its shining edge teasing through the sediment. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. Take it. It's the only way forward.
Take the blade. It's the only way forward. You already tried anything else. Don't you remember? You had to take the blade.
You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep. Deep in the bowels of the earth, you see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread. It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
You really are a coward.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
I was joking when I said that way back when. You know that, right?
And closer.
I was having some fun, and I guess I wanted to see if I could melt you.
And closer.
Watching over me forever? That was so brave.
And closer.
But forever is so long. And time erodes everything. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. All that's left is for you to take my hand and let me out. It'll be so much fun, you and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me, but you'll get to be there too. A trinket that gets to stay with me all the time, right by my side. A witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want, gilded and everything. Now don't pause, don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need, and you lost your power so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand. What are we supposed to do? She took our weapon. This really was a lost cause, wasn't it? You sealed our fate when you refused to kill her. Kill or be killed. Yes, I suppose you're right. Oh well. There's no paralysis anymore. Is it because we've already given her what she wants?
Just take it.
You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle, tender even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next. I didn't think I'd be so tired.
Princess, exhausted, slumps.
Why is it so cold?
You don't have the opportunity to respond. Something has taken her away. It's left something else in its place.
She's gone. Yeah. I can finally think again. Almost. That mirror's back.
What does that mean for us?
I'm sure it'll be whisked away, just like her. Maybe it won't be gone. Things are different now, aren't they? Doesn't seem like there's much else to do here. Finally, we can smash it. Oh, you stop with the smashing.
What do we say, boys? One last vain attempt to look at ourselves.
Yeah. I think I'd like that.
Seems we've got a majority. All that's left is to give it a look.
Approach the mirror. You step towards the mirror to hold the truth that you must witness.
Something tells me that this is the end of the line. But I don't feel bad about it. I'm ready. It feels okay. The fear's gone. I'm done fighting. My heart feels quiet. The game was always going to end. I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep.
I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't here.
Boys, it's been an honor.
Gaze into your reflection. The silence as you reach forward, they're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. We're alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. Proceed to the cabin. You are at the cabin. Approach her, the figure on the hill.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
What are you? The gift of a fragile vessel? Is this the end of the world? Let her go. Let her out of there. Do you know the narrator? Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here? Do you know about the world beyond this place? Are you the princess? Do we know each other? What happens now? Attack the entity, destroy your body. Let's go with what are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
Solitary light, what do you mean?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
I don't know what I am. Because we don't.
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
So she's suggesting that we want something bigger, like something grander, and we've been reduced to mere shadows of ourselves. You mentioned the gift of a fragile vessel.
Yes. Nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond. Perspectives to make my own. This one is filled with sadness. A doll, abandoned to the company of her darkest impulses. She desires only companionship, but the only thing she knows is how to hurt. She will make for a tender heart. Do not mourn her. She has finally found her way home.
So, I take from this that this particular result has led to her, this entity being able to feel like more emotion. Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
You know the narrator.
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
Okay, so we're in some kind of void or like purgatory space. And this entity is basically like like been blinded and bits like she's like a fragment of what it once was, and she's using the princess or iteration of the princess to basically get a percentage of what she was back. She says a tender heart. Okay. Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
But were you always the princess, or just making her a part of yourself?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
Okay, so it could be potentially the princess is more personification of like this being on like the, for lack of a word, mortal plane. Like the princess is basically an avatar of this entity, like a fragment, like lots of different fragments of her, of like all, many different avatars, all different fragments of this entity. Okay. Let her out of here. Do you know about the world beyond this place? We know each other. Let's go with that.
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
She says she's going to use her for her. Let her out of there. Do you know about the world beyond this place? Let's try that.
I know only that they are.
Let's try. Let her out of there.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
Okay.
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Okay. So, from the sounds of it, this entity has basically fractured or been fractured into multiple fragments. And they, like, she's coming back to, like, and each one of them is the princess? I don't know. And they're so basically, yeah. So they're all basically fragments of this entity. And we found a piece of her in this form of the princess who was returned once we got to this end of this particular sort of story arc. What happens now?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us.
Yeah.
And that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Okay, so basically it is what I thought. So that basically, it's almost like multi-universal theory then. Many princesses, like many possible variations of the princess, each one a potential fragment of a different feeling or like element that she's lost, this entity's lost. Okay. Aren't you scared that I find a way to kill you? How much will I forget? How many pieces of you do I have to find? And what if I don't let you do this to me? I was sent to slay the princess to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do? Let's go with that.
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Okay, so she's not self-aware enough to know what like the grand plan is yet. And if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
How much will I forget?
Everything. Until we meet again.
It's a loop. Oh, we're stuck in a... Yeah, well, it was obvious that we were stuck in a causality loop anyway. With how everything was being reset. But, like, this suggests that her and us are basically stuck in this sort of loop to get the fragments to get to a high enough stage of existence, is it? That they basically return to her. Like a high enough stage of consciousness to basically return to her. Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
How many more pieces do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
Okay, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
Everything goes dark and you die. Chapter 1, The Hero and the Princess. So the loop begins again.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
The end of the world, what are you talking about? You have considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because you locked her up. Being a princess seems kind of bad, though, doesn't it? Can't someone else do this? You get it, I'm not doing this. And you've considered maybe I'm okay with the world ending. Do I get some sort of reward for doing this? Okay, thanks for telling me what to do. Sweet, I've always wanted to off the monarchy. Vive la revolution. Continue to the cabin. Turn around and leave. Have you considered that maybe I'm okay with the world ending?
Of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end. I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists, or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
Have you considered that maybe the only reason she's going to end the world is because she's locked up?
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up. And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that. It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately, you're the only one who can pull this off. I don't make the rules. I wish I did, but I don't.
Let's go with forget it, I'm not doing this. Just turn around and leave. Yeah, the voice like we've been told, turn up, do something home. It's like, yep, nope.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
Let's see what we have. Okay, fine. You're persistent. I'll go to the cabin and I'll slay the princess. Okay, fine. I'll go to the cabin and talk to the princess. Maybe I'll slay her, maybe I won't. I guess we'll see. Lie. Yes, I definitely know where I'm going. Nope. The only thing that matters is that I'm not going, the cabin. I'm not going to the cabin. It's like I said, I'm pretty okay with the world ending. I relish the outcome, the coming of the new dawn beyond our own. Yeah, let's go with that one.
There won't be a new dawn if the world ends. There'll just be nothing forever. Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin. Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
Turn around and leave again.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies.
Don't care, not killing a princess. Good. Maybe everyone should die. It's what they got for dumping me in the woods and asking me to kill someone for them. But not emotionally blackmailing me into doing this. No, it's just for good. Maybe everyone should die. It's what they get for dumping me in the woods and asking me to kill someone for them.
When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess. And, last I checked, you're part of everyone too, so if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came. Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its best to bring you to your fated confrontation with the princess.
There's no fighting, it's just there. I have to go into the cabin, don't I? Fine. Oh yeah? Well, I guess I'm going to start walking in a different direction again. In fact, I'm going to keep trekking through the wilderness until I find a way out of this place.
There's always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever will. And here we go. As you trudge into the woods, something strange starts to happen. At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves. But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers weren't just a trick of light. In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins desperately trying to draw you back to where you need to be.
Wait, what's going on?
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world. You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness. But it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Chapter 2. The Stranger.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Let's see, which do we choose? Those walls weren't here last time. You can't just force me to go to the cabin.
What are you talking about? I'm sure those walls have always been there. It makes sense if you think about it. If there weren't any walls in the woods, someone might have gotten lost. Or Heaven forbid, someone other than you might have stumbled onto the princess. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
I don't know. I think it's more fun if he knows what we're thinking. He's like a captive audience.
He might have walled off everything but the path to the cabin, but I'm sure there's plenty of other ways we can ruin his day. If by ruining my day you mean ruining everyone's day forever, then yes, I suppose there are plenty of ways you could pull that off. The world really did end last time, didn't it? We should be careful. For all we know, we just got lucky. The world hasn't ended yet, and you are never going to slay her with that attitude. Stuff those pathetic little voices to the back of your mind and stay focused on the task ahead.
Deja vu. Wait, hasn't this already happened? Okay, no. No. Okay. Yeah, lie. Yep. Okay, heading to the cabin now. Where I'm definitely going to slay that princess.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right? Please take this seriously. I am begging you. A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her. Maybe she isn't a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Proceed into the cabin.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite visible enough for the place to make any sense. The only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths, its material devoid of feature. Perched on that table is a pristine blade.
It's almost like we're in like a simulation. Like a randomized simulation of a game or something like that. Like if we're being meta about it, it's like Dwarf Fortress or Caves of Cud, where everything's randomized, but basically the program code has become scrambled, so different things are merging together. Oh yeah.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust, or better yet, grab it and throw it out the window. What good is a knife against a world-ending monstrosity anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise? You can't just say that, and when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to slay the princess and through that action, save the entire world. And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her.
Oh, ho, ho, ho! You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm. How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind.
Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird. What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard.
Okay, I'm fine.
Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall.
We should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun?
You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
There's definitely a mirror.
There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to look at it even more.
I want to look at it. I want to see how handsome I am.
We shouldn't waste time preening, but if he is lying about the mirror, it might be important.
I'm not lying to you. Use your eyes. There is no mirror. Why would I lie about something so meaningless? What good would it even do?
So we're all in agreement then. We're looking.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
Ah, sorry. This isn't funny.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago.
And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Enter the basement.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of branching staircases all built from unidentifiable materials. Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down. The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is at once. An odour that is simultaneously everything and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick, nauseating nothing.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour.
Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
No, thank you. Oh, don't be such a baby.
I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure.
And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success?
There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Take the harsh stairs to the left, take the central staircase, take the soft staircase to the right. Yeah, soft staircase to the right it is.
You step to the right. The path feels soft and reassuring against your feet. The stairs almost seem to cradle you as you make your way down, like they're guiding your heels from one step directly to the next. You barely have to extend any effort to descend, the stairway doing most of the work for you. You don't feel like there's any concern that you might slip or tumble or lose your way. But the further you go, the deeper you sink in. First, it's like a lovely plush carpet, your toes digging down and barely hitting any resistance at all. But soon enough, you're fighting just to keep your knees from sinking out of sight. The softness threatens to swallow you whole, to wrest control of your body and surround you in a false ethereal bliss, pretending to save you from the cruelties of choice and consequence. It's slow going, but you manage to fight against the overwhelming urge to fall back into comfort and nothingness, the very struggle to continue forward consuming your every thought. You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go. Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether. Physical sensations dull and then vanish, until the only things experienced are the consumption and betrayal, skepticism and blind devotion, rivalry and submission, terror and longing, pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Are you okay?
What the hell was that? What happened to us? I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the top of the stairs. Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways.
This seems to be a good place to leave it, folks, for the day, as we start on another cycle. To slay the princess, to save the princess, or just drive the narrator up the wall. Contradictions. Who knows where this will go? I've been Cornish-knight, this has been Slay the Princess, a Cornish Let's Play series, and I shall see you all again next time. Goodbye.